Hello, George. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me here for this interview. How are you?
Hi, Rokas. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you doing?
I'm good as well. The reason I invited you on, it's a fairly unique reason. Usually I invite people because I saw wins from them in the Wins channel. But in your case, I know you're a captain in the ecom campus. So I'd like your experience and perspective on the real world from a captain angle. So to start off with, what was your life like before you joined the real world?
So before the real world, I was working a 9 to 5, like I still am now, obviously hoping in the future to move away from that. But I always had this, I think the way Andrew would say it, is that fire inside of you, to want to do more, not be stuck in a 9 to 5. And I would have these impulses now and then, to try drop shipping or watch a 30-minute video on Amazon FBA, get all excited, but then actually never take the next step. So that's kind of when the real world came in. But in terms of my spare time before the real world, it was kind of wasted really. A lot of gaming and a lot of binging Netflix when at the same time I'm telling myself, I'm going to be a millionaire, and then kind of contradicting myself, doing these things that are just never going to work, never going to help. And yeah, that's when the real world kind of stepped in.
How did you discover the real world?
I discovered the real world through the same as I imagine a lot of people. It started off with, scrolling through TikTok, Andrew Tate, more videos of Andrew. And then before Andrew, I had a kind of unique view on the world, which is kind of come more mainstream now. But, I knew a lot of the society was kind of, bullshit in a way. So Andrew, when I saw Andrew, I kind of resonated with that almost straight away. And then, like I said, I already had these impulses, and I tried drop shipping before in 2020. So when I saw the real world, I thought, oh yeah, there you go. That's the perfect opportunity. So yeah, it came through Andrew and TikTok, etc.
When did you join?
I joined originally in July of last year. However, that was another one of me, impulse, do it, all motivated for a week, and then kind of, oh no. But then in October is when I came back, and since October I've been, smashing it out. I've kind of got the right mindset now. Went away, got the right mindset. So yeah, I'd say properly from October, but on paper from July.
What was the mindset there behind actually committing in the real world? Did the difference between what Hustlers University used to be and what the real world is now have any kind of impact there?
No, I think the Hustlers University was obviously just as good as the real world. I mean, the real world is definitely an improvement, but they were both amazing. I think it was mainly my mindset. It just wasn't there. I think the reason that I decided to go, right, I've got to do it now and knuckle down is, I think it's a Tony Robbins quote, isn't it? It's like when the pain of change is greater than the pain of, staying the same, or the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. I got to that point where I was like, right, I've been telling myself for the last 2 years that I'm going to go do this, and I don't. I always revert back to, these time wasting, these bad habits, and it kind of got to the point where I was like, right, you've got to sort it out now.
How different is the material in the real world compared to what you learned before?
It is vastly different. It is a lot better. I think the easiest way to explain it in the shortest term is that it has it all in one place. So, for example, before 2020, for example, I was watching a YouTube video from one person who had a certain experience in dropshipping and ecom. And then for the next part of my store, next part of dropshipping I needed to learn, I watched another YouTuber who had a completely different experience to the other. And so then the advice we were being given was, one, contradicting itself sometimes, and two, just varied a lot. Whereas in the real world and Hustlers University, it's very structured. Every single step, you don't have to look elsewhere, you don't have to touch YouTube or any other platform. It's all there for you from one person in one long course. It's all there. I think that is the main reason. That's what it all boils down to.
What was it that ended up contributing to you becoming a captain?
It was made, to be fair, I knew how great the community was, obviously how I just explained, and I like to help other students too. So it did genuinely just begin as going through answering some questions that I knew that I definitely knew the answer to, so therefore could help a student by just taking 10 seconds out of my day to respond. And then I started doing store reviews more in the Poseidon Legion, because that's what I was assigned to. So began with store reviews, helping other students, asking Schwabe questions, and also what I noticed was with new students, for example, this is no fault of theirs. Obviously, they're new, so they're going to ask these questions. But you see one new student ask the basic questions, Schwabe goes through and replies, for example, our professor. But then a week later, you get a bunch of new students asking the same basic question. So I think a lot of it was me kind of taking some weight off of Schwabe's shoulders in a certain respect, so he doesn't have to repeat himself a lot. And I think that was a lot of what the captains do and helping Schwabe, take that weight off of his shoulders.